in 1972, Government of India passes Wildlife Protection Act to bring a stop to all this. Wildlife Protection Act, WLP बोलते हैं इसको. We call it as WLP. 1972, the Wildlife Protection Act was passed to curb poaching, hunting, trade, to curb any type of deforestation in the country. Wildlife Protection Act was passed. This is a landmark act in the conservation of forests in India and wildlife in India. This turned out to be a game changer for the country. Otherwise, we would have lost everything. This is a landmark act in the field of conservation. Okay, so this brings conservation to the forefront. Means development was there in the forefront earlier. So it shifts the gear now. The conservation comes to the front now. Development takes the second seat now. So conservation was given more importance. Conservation, protection of forest and wildlife became the major aspect of this act of forest and wildlife. Correct. Otherwise, what would happen? All the forest would have decreased, wildlife population would have decreased. India wouldn't have seen much of the wildlife that we have today, because our population, you know how it is increasing. Animals population would have decreased. Sorry. So just write that. So conservation and protection. Okay. So all the flora and fauna in the country were divided into Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 schedules they made. This act. Wildlife Protection Act made 6 schedules. Okay. Schedule 1 and 2 species gives absolute protection to wildlife. Means you can't even touch them. You can imagine. Okay. So if somebody does something, that is death penalty, severe punishment, heavy fine, hefty fine, like that. Tiger, elephant comes under this. Schedule 1 species, Schedule 2 species gets full protection, like VIP security type. 3 and 4, protection with limited penalties. Protection with limited penalties. Means fines and penalties will be there. Fines. This is death penalty for this. Unbailable, offense. This is considered as. Bail is not given in the first one. For 1 and 2 species. Schedule 1, Schedule 2. Schedule 3, Schedule 4 is some relaxation. So protection with limited fines and penalties. This 5, this is for species which are considered as vermin. Vermin are those which cause harm to resources, food, like rats, mice. What do rats do? Rodents do? They come and eat all your grains and all. They damage crops. Correct. Those are called as vermin species. Those can be killed. Killed in the sense, when they harm you, you can kill them. Okay. So vermin, sir, let's say, as per the government, I'm telling you, they shouldn't have bought all that. Crows are also bought. Crow, regular crow. Bat, fruit bats. Cats, or not cats, so this one, rats and mice. Rats and mice. They were bought under this vermin category. Okay. So those can be hunted by the people in case if they harm you. So you'll not be penalized or put in jail for killing a rat. So that was in Schedule 5. Schedule 6 is for plants. Certain plants you can't cultivate. Certain wild plants you are not supposed to cultivate, possess, sell. That is plants. Schedule 6 is for plants which you can't sell or possess. Okay. I'm not talking about narcotics, opium or weed here. Other plants. Wild plants, regular forest plant which can't be cultivated. Okay. Weed, opium and all comes under narcotics. We'll talk about that also separately. Okay. So this is plants which can't be cultivated or possessed or sold in the market. That is 6. Like this, 6 schedules they divided the wildlife into. So this brought some level of protection, and forest department was given powers. Earlier they had no power. They were going into the forest with a lathi. correct, no basic weapons also. Whereas our poachers, hunters, they used to bring guns. Our forest department had no weapons. Now forest department also was given some weapons, powers. They couldn't arrest, earlier the MLA or MP's son used to go and kill some animals. Nobody could do anything. You know, Salman Khan incident and all, you know. So those kind of incidents used to occur. But they had no powers, they couldn't do anything. Even some very popular people also do something, even now they can't do anything, that is a different story. But at least some level of protection was given to the wildlife conservation, and powers were given to the forest department. And people had fear now, okay, if I do something, I might be penalized under this act. So as a result, people had that fear. Because why is law required? Law is required to at least to control our acts. Otherwise, people will do whatever they want. So this Wildlife Protection Act was a landmark judgment or landmark act in the field of conservation. Okay, this also brought in, let's say, provisions. It gave provisions for the government to create wildlife boards, set up wildlife board for conserving wildlife, to start projects for species conservation, species specific project, species specific projects they could start. So this act allowed government to set up wildlife boards, correct, set up projects, initiate projects for species specific conservation, species specific conservation, conservation. Okay.